Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February edition of Max Minutes. We have an exciting presentation this morning. Before we begin, I would like to take a minute to thank our anchor investors. We have WorkSource Georgia, the Georgia Department of Human Services, Goodwill of North Georgia, the Metro Atlanta Chamber, BDI, Career Rise, Ferrovial, and First Step Staffing. My name is Chris Kidd, and I serve as the Director of Economic Development for the University System of Georgia. I am also serving as Max Board Lead for Max Minutes, so I'm excited to be here with you all today. We have a wonderful presentation planned for you from my good friend, President Chris Green, who serves as the President of the Georgia Student Finance Commission. And he's going to talk to you all today about some of the exciting initiatives that he is working on. And as we continue on through the presentation, as if any questions come up, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will have an opportunity once Chris has concluded with his presentation to ask those questions for him. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to my good friend, President Chris Green.
Well, good morning again, everyone. Thank you for the invitation to be here. Again, my name is Chris Green. I'm honored to serve as president of the Georgia Student Finance Commission. And so, what I thought we'd do today was just to share some information about our agency, what is our role in talent development and workforce, and hopefully can provide some great information for how we can be of service to you all and certainly the students that you mentor and make sure that they have a place in the top state for talent. And so with that, let me start by just sharing some highlights of our agency that I think really demonstrates the scale and the responsibility of the Student Finance Commission. So our agency, honored to support hundreds of thousands of students across the state through scholarships, grants, outreach, and then administrative services. So over the past year, we've been working very hard to modernize our operations, improve system performance, and strengthen our controls to make sure that we are good stewards of public funds. And so, as you can see here, I see my colleague from DOE, Jennifer, continue to experience strong growth in Georgia's dual enrollment program. We exceeded 71,000 participating students last year, and just really incredible, those students taking more than 736,000 credit hours during the last academic year. In October, we launched the third cycle of the nation's largest state-run direct admissions program. This is the Georgia Match program. We mailed more than 136,000 letters to high school seniors. Of course, this is a statewide team effort with our colleagues at USG, TCSG, the Department of Education, and the Office of Student Achievement working alongside the governor's office. And so I'll speak more about Georgia Match in a moment. We take our mission very seriously. We use a combination of face-to-face and technology engagements to disperse those 635,000 scholarships and grants. We conducted over 1,600 outreach events, serving over 92,000 students and their parents who come to these events across our state. One thing I'd really like to share this morning is gafutures.org. This is the state's one-stop shop for where you can go to plan, apply, and pay for college. And so last year we attracted more than 5 million individual site visits to GA Futures and had over 230,000 new accounts created. And I should add too that we owe this success to our partnerships with our high school counselors, teachers, and administrators across the state in public and private high schools who help do this work. And so making sure that we connect financial resources to Georgia students. And then finally, the Reach Georgia Scholarship, which combines need-based aid with mentoring, academic coaching, and additional community support. We exceeded over 5,400 students served since that program was created by Governor Deal back in 2012. And so, of course, the most important thing for my team from this data is that, for each of these statistics, that's the story of a life changed and improved and how fortunate we are to live in a state where our policymakers dedicate so many resources to helping our students pursue post-secondary and then find a place in this economy. And so we wouldn't have the talent pipeline that we have without these programs. Chris, I often share this slide just to kind of demonstrate for folks the magnitude of this investment and kind of where these dollars go to support students. So in the most recent fiscal year, our agency administered over $1 billion in program funds to Georgia students. And so as you can imagine, the largest portion of that was certainly for the lottery funded Hope Scholarship and Zell Scholarship programs. And that would not be possible without our colleagues at the Georgia Lottery Corporation under the leadership of President Gretchen Corbin, who raised the revenues that make education possible, whether it's in the form of our college financial aid programs, but also Georgia Pre-K. The next largest slice there is that purple, the dual enrollment program. Continue to see impressive growth. Tuition equalization grants, or TEG. This financial aid program is designed for students that are pursuing a post-secondary credential at one of our independent colleges. And then under other programs there, the agency is proud to administer a number of uniquely tailored financial aid programs. Just to give you an example, I mentioned REACH earlier, IPSE, so Inclusive Post-Secondary Education Grants. These are for students with intellectual disabilities who are pursuing one of these inclusive post-secondary programs at one of our institutions. Also have a number of workforce tailored programs for engineers in high need areas. The Georgia College Completion Grant is a newer financial aid program that I'm going to speak more about in a moment, but this helps students who have a gap in their cost of attendance as they near the completion of their degree. And then we continue to have strong focused investment in military programs. So if you know any students that are interested in serving our state or nation as part of their post-secondary training, programs at the University of North Georgia and Georgia Military College that are designed very similar to a service scholarship like West Point. And so we're honored to continue to serve students through those programs as well. I mentioned Georgia Match a moment ago, and thank you all. I know I've gotten to visit with many of you about this program in the past, but I think Georgia Match is probably one of the strongest examples of how our agency is supporting the state's education and workforce agenda. And so in their senior year, public and private high school seniors receive a personalized letter from the governor telling them where they meet the qualifications for admission at our post-secondary institutions. And so for the class of 2026, that was more than 136,000 students. The heat map on the left-hand side of your screen shows the light blue dots show where students received the letter, and then the dark blue dot shows where the student came into our website and took some kind of action. And so what we ask students to do, there's a QR code on the letter. And so we ask them to come to the website and take one of two actions, either request more information or claim their spot. And it's really that easy. And so as you can see there, USG enrollment increasing over 4.8% over the previous year, TCSG enrollment growing by over 7%. And so I think this is really, really a testament to our collaboration in state government when we consider that around the country, post-secondary enrollments were either flat or perhaps even declined. And so the fact that we're able to continue to recruit our talent to stay in state at USG, TCSG, just really proud of the continued impact that Georgia Match has. And with Governor Kemp's vision, when he convened the leadership of our education agencies, was to make this one of the most successful and largest direct admission programs in the country. And so for any colleagues here today that don't have a high school senior at home, I wanted you to see what the letter looks like. And so if you are mentoring a young person or have people in your network, tell them to be on the lookout for these letters. We try to send them in October so that they arrive before Apply to College Month in November, Extremely appreciative to our colleagues at the university system and the technical college system for waiving application fees during November. And so just a really great opportunity to start this conversation with students and then have them requesting information and be ready to claim their spot in November. Something I know that Max has been heavily engaged in is making sure that Georgia continues to be the top state for talent. And so, under Governor Kemp's leadership, we are now collaborated really to an unprecedented degree. All of the leaders of the education agencies, so Department of Education, uh, TCSG, USG, the Office of Student Achievement, our agency, and then also critical workforce partners and the Department of Labor, Department of Economic Development have been meeting regularly to make sure that we are all working towards this top state for talent goal. And so, based on our role in implementing the Georgia Match program, we've been honored to participate in this work. The Governor's Workforce Summit this past October, which I know many of you attended at the World Congress Center, drew more than 1,000 business, government, and educational leaders in attendance. And so we'd love to have you join us, I believe, this year, targeting a date in September for the Workforce Summit. And then was very honored to introduce that audience to three of our students who benefited from some of our programs. So in the pictures there, you can see West Georgia Technical College student Reagan Bearden and Valdosta State University student Abigail Gilbert. So they shared firsthand how Georgia Match helped them claim their spot and continue their academic journey toward high demand careers in healthcare. And then student Jeffrey Lowe served on a panel. Jeffrey studied at both Georgia Piedmont Technical College and also Georgia State University as he prepares for a career in music management business. And so the Hope Grant and Hope Scholarship made college possible for him. And so some other items there I just wanted to bring to your attention. With the Top State for Talent Act, some of the governor's signature legislation last year was around making sure that our high school students are creating a GA Futures account. This is a totally free resource, and the reason being, the sooner we can get to students and share information about not only the great post-secondary education opportunities that are available here in Georgia, but also that we have significant resources to support them is just so critical. So beginning in ninth grade, we want students to head over to GA Futures and create one of those free secure accounts. And then something, Chris, I'm not sure if you all have gotten to visit with yet, but the Career Navigator. This is a transformative project that the governor has proposed and dedicated resource to in his amended budget proposal. But essentially, think about personalized career navigation, certainly for students, but also adult Georgians who want to return and just don't know where to start. You know, what are the high demand careers? What are the educational institutions that offer these credentials? And then what are some best ways to get plugged into the workforce? And so stay tuned. Really excited about this new effort. And I hope we'll hear more about this in the coming months. When I assumed this role last year, I really challenged my team to focus on three things. So, how do we better serve students? How can we be known for exceptional customer service? And then I also challenged my team that we need to do a better job of promoting financial literacy. So, as you could see, you know, with the $1 billion of resources that are entrusted to us, I feel that a critical part of our mission is helping make sure that students take advantage of free aid and make sure that we're all making smart financial decisions. And so this year, I'm really proud that we'll be launching an enhanced portion of our website on GA Futures just in time for Financial Literacy Month in April. And so you can see there some of the topics that we'll be diving into. But financial literacy really complements our aid programs by helping students make informed decisions about borrowing, budgeting, and how important it is to persist to completion and earn that credential. One of my favorite topics to talk about is the FAFSA. And so those of you that are not involved in financial aid, or it's been a minute since you were helping someone navigate the financial aid process, The FAFSA is notorious for sometimes being a barrier, but the free application for federal student aid really is the gateway to free financial aid. And so supporting FAFSA completion is one of the most cost-effective strategies that we have to increase our students' access to free federal financial aid for Georgia students. And so we're really proud that as part of our outreach mission, we are increasing our FAFSA completion rate year over year, and we continue to rank above the national average. Pictured here on the right is one of our FAFSA completion workshops at Collins Hill High School in Gwinnett County. I like to joke with audience that these students are smiling because we're helping them get through that FAFSA. But every time we can help a student complete one of these forms, it represents free federal dollars coming into Georgia at essentially no cost to the state. And so this is just a great example of how we can work together to leverage significant external resources. Earlier, I mentioned one of our new programs, or newer programs, the Georgia College Completion Grant. And so when we talk about different types of financial aid, this grant program was designed to help students towards the end of their educational journey that have some kind of gap in meeting their educational costs that could prevent them from earning that diploma. Um, so research suggests that for a lot of college students, not just in Georgia, but across the country, just a blown tire, can make the difference between whether or not they're able to participate in commencement and earn that credential. And so this was a program that started as a pilot. Last year, the legislature actually expanded the eligibility requirements so we can serve more students. And since the program began in 2023, we've made more than 28,000 awards, totaling more than $32 million. Um, and again, these are really small dollar awards, so a maximum award of up to $2,500. But this program really is helping to move the needle on college completion, and we could not do it without our partners at USG, TCSG, and our independent colleges who help identify the students who need these resources and deploy them to make sure our students get across the finish line. The Reach Georgia Scholarship, again, this was launched by Governor Deal in 2012, really the state's first statewide need-based aid program. Reach unique in that it is a public-private partnership. So our state policymakers appropriate $9,000 of each $10,000 scholarship, but then our local school partners raise the remaining $1,000 to support each Reach scholar. And so Reach is also unique in that we are identifying students beginning in the 8th grade. So before they enter high school, letting them know that if they complete the requirements of the program, there's a $10,000 scholarship waiting on them. And so one of my favorite things there, you can see the picture on the right. Reach was designed with a signing ceremony. So think just like an athletic signing ceremony. These are so fun and energizing. A lot of them take place in front of the whole school, where the Reach Scholar and their family members and community partners gather in the fall to sign their commitment papers. And so these districts take place all across the state. And if you'd like to participate in one, be happy to connect you with your local Reach coordinator. But these are just a really fun thing that we get to participate in the fall. Again, starting this conversation earlier about planning for college and the resources that Georgia provides. Perhaps my favorite part of this job is that GSFC has an outreach team. And so I like to think of these colleagues as our recruitment team. Their job is these staff members are strategically placed around the state, and they are working to make sure that we keep our top talent here in Georgia. And so many of you, or if you are in local high schools, you'll see these folks conducting financial aid workshops, college planning nights, college fairs across the state. They also will come to civic groups, churches, any kind of community organization. If you want to have a focus on college planning and financial literacy, would love to be a guest at one of your future programs. Last year, members of this team are the ones that met with over 92,000 students at 1,600 events across the state. And I cannot tell you how many times a parent will send me a picture and they will be at their local Waffle House or a Dunkin' Donuts with one of my colleagues here on the screen, either completing the FAFSA or one of our state forms. And so just really thankful for the high schools, the colleges, and the community organizations who partner with us to conduct these trainings. So thank you, and please let us know if this team can ever be a resource to you and your networks. Chris and Joy, I thought as we wrap up here, what I might do is just share with our audience some of our agency requests with the annual appropriations process. And so while we administer over 25 different financial aid programs, we come to the legislature in January every year, presenting the governor's budget recommendation for our agency. And so just briefly wanted to hit some of these highlights. And then if any of our colleagues have questions, during Q&A, happy to dive in more deeply. But as you all likely have seen reported, every agency, the statewide changes, very grateful for the governor and the General Assembly for supporting a $2,000 one-time pay supplement for teachers and state employees. The dual enrollment program, we mentioned the continued growth. You can see there an $18 million increase to support continued growth in this amended budget for dual enrollment. A one-time reduction, this is the engineering scholarship. So for students who want to pursue an engineering career, they agree to work in Georgia after graduation. And so that just reflects temporary true up on that program. Georgia Military College and the University of North Georgia Scholarship, you'll see here in a moment. These are programs that actually predate the Hope Scholarship, but these are service scholarships where the student pursues any credential here at one of those institutions and agrees to a service commitment in the military following completion of that degree. Continue to see growth in Hope Scholarships, both for our students attending one of our private schools as well as our public schools. And then I mentioned North Georgia Military Scholarships, something we really didn't touch on this morning, but wanted you to know our agency does administer the state's new K-12 education savings account program called the Promise Scholarship. And so this is the first year of implementation for that program, and you'll see a one-time true up there. And then tuition equalization grants. Again, these are for students pursuing a credential at one of our independent colleges. And so those are all changes that we requested to get us through June 30. And then in the governor's FY27 budget that will begin on July 1, you can see there the governor has recommended an increase to that college completion grant program. Those dollars are actually earmarked for our students at the Technical College System of Georgia. So students pursuing certificates and diplomas, very workforce focused. Statewide changes there for all agencies across state government. Again, another requested increase for the dual enrollment program. Something I'm very excited about, would love to talk more about this morning, but the legislature and the governor have been working very hard to support students in foster care from all sides of this equation. And for the first time, the governor has recommended funding a new foster care scholarship so that we can help with the post-secondary costs for students who spent time in our foster care system. And we want them to pursue a post-secondary credential here in Georgia. Again, there, as you can see, just continued growth for Georgia Military College Scholarship, Hope Private, Hope Public, and then North Georgia and our tuition equalization grants. So Chris, let me pause there and I will be glad to answer any questions. I'm sorry, Chris, before I hand it over, I would be remiss if I didn't mention one very, very exciting development this week. The governor recommended and the legislature has approved the state's first statewide need-based scholarship. This is a transformative, historic investment in Georgia students. The governor recommended and the General Assembly supported $325 million. And so although it's not reflected on my screen, that is something that is in the budget, and the legislature will continue to fine tune those details over the next several weeks. But again, just wanted to say thank you, just transformative for our state we're very honored to partner with our post-secondary colleagues to administer that new program in the near future. And so, Chris, enjoy it. With that, let me pause there and be happy to answer any questions.
Yes, and I just want to echo your excitement. I know at our office, we're very excited about this. The funds that have been appropriated to help our students succeed. So that's wonderful. I did have a question that I kind of thought of as you were presenting. So, what is one thing from your view that students and families often don't realize about the financial aid opportunities available to them in Georgia? Like, what's a misconception that you've come across since you've been serving in this role?
Absolutely. What a great question. And Chris, I think my first response is that we are having some really important conversations around college affordability, which are so important, and I'm glad we're having. But I want to make sure we don't accidentally scare a student into thinking that we don't have incredible support for them. Hope Scholarship paying 100% of tuition. And then, as you've seen here, we have so many other financial aid programs. Additionally, federal resources and institutional resources. There's really multiple fund sources that make college possible. And so, just as we're having these conversations, as you're mentoring young people, please make sure they know about GA Futures, make sure they know about the $1 billion that our policymakers set aside to make sure that our students uh, have the ability to pursue any of these high value credentials. And we want them to stay here, learn here, earn here, raise a family here, and to continue to be the top state for business. We got to remain the top state for talent. And I'm just so proud to be a small part of that work and appreciate everyone on this call who's making that possible.
And one other follow-up there is what can we do to help support the non-traditional student? Are there resources out there for someone who may not have completed a degree? Are there resources that they can turn to if someone's looking to go back to school to get a credential or something like that? How do you recommend they proceed, and how can we spread the word there?
Absolutely. I think when I'm having a conversation with someone who's considering going back to school, one of the best introductions I can make is to their local financial aid office. So a financial aid administrator is really going to be able to look at the whole picture and look at all these different funding opportunities and say, with these 3 or 4 different funding opportunities, these are how we can get you to your career goals. One thing, at the federal level, this is not within Georgia Student Finance Commission. This is really our partners at the technical college system, but some really cool new opportunities surrounding workforce Pell. And so the reason my agency is watching this is we do a lot about helping high school students complete the FAFSA, but if completing the FAFSA is a requirement to access this workforce Pell for adult learners, we want to make sure that we're supporting those Georgians who may need help completing that form for the first time. And so we'll continue to monitor those conversations, but absolutely tell anybody that wants to return and pursue some type of credential to make a connection at that local institution, and let's see what we can do to get you where you want to go.
Okay, and then I'm looking in the chat, and so it looks like Rebecca Ellis said everyone students can also dual enroll in GED programs and technical college courses. So um, there are definitely opportunities out there for folks at any walk of life to go and to continue their educational journey to earn that credential. So do we have any other questions from the audience? For President Green. Um, okay. Oh, we just got a question. So, which of these funding sources are available to GED graduates?
So, my first thought is when a student earns what we used to call the GED, now we're rebranding to the high school equivalency. Hope Grant is probably going to be the one that I think of first in a financial aid office, depending on the time period and how far they are from high school completion, whether or not they'd be eligible for some of our other types of aid. And Chris, you mentioned the GED. We used to administer a program called the Hope GED Grant. And essentially, the way it worked is once a student completed that GED, we sent them a coupon in the mail. And then once they entered a post secondary financial aid office, they could redeem that coupon. A couple years ago, the legislature heard from our colleagues that the test had changed, and so we've actually changed that program and rebranded it, and now we call it the Hope HSE grant, and essentially it covers the cost of one of those tests. And so we want to make sure those tests, the cost of the test is not a barrier to a Georgian who wants to earn that credential and go back and pursue something further.
Okay, very good. And we got a question. I don't know, I'm not sure the answer of this, but Dr. Tanya Johnson asked, what is the date for the governor's third annual workforce summit? Do you-
Terrific question, and I wish I had it at my fingertips. My friend, I think we are targeting September. And Chris and Joy, with your permission, as soon as I see a date, I'll circulate it and ask for you to share it with all of your members.
yes, we can definitely do that, and that would be appreciated. Okay, any other questions for President Green? I am, look, oh, Dr. Johnson said thank you, so we'll definitely get that information to you. But any other questions? We're winding down, so don't miss your opportunity. Okay, well, President Green, it looks like that is all that we have for you today. Thank you so much for your time and for all that wonderful information you shared with us. And we are, I'm sure I can speak for the group. We're very appreciative of the work that you're doing to help educate our state and make college more affordable to those to everyone. So thank you. Oh, is okay, one other question. Is there a comprehensive list of scholarships available, and how could that be accessed?
Marcia, thank you for the question. I would send anybody to GA Futures. We've got tabs that show state scholarships, federal aid, but then we also have a scholarship search tool. And so I know, like when I was coming through college, Rotarians have a scholarship. 4-H, FFA Foundation. Many of these great scholarships are combined with state and federal aid. So I would send anybody over to gafutures.org, take a look at the state and federal resources, but also that, thank you, Chris, also that search tool. And if you learn of a scholarship that we don't have, please let me know. And Chris, I'd just say thank you for the invitation today. It's an honor to be your partner. And thank you to all of our colleagues on the call who make this possible.
Yes, and we just got another question. If you have time for another, are there any specific scholarships you know of where the funds are not completely exhausted within the fiscal year?
Sure, and let me clarify too. None of our programs are exhausted, and so very appreciative. The General Assembly continues to support these programs, and so send them to us. And every year, we're constantly monitoring these programs and making requests to make sure that we can serve all the students who are eligible and need assistance.
Okay, very good. Well, sir, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.
So, wrapping up, let's see. If you have not yet done so, please take some time to fill out our annual survey using this QR code. We would love to receive your feedback and any comments that you have about how we can better serve you all. So, and also, if you are not a member of Max, we would love to have you join. Please contact Joy Wilkins to learn more. And you can also follow this QR code to receive any additional information. Finally, a special thanks again to our anchor investors. We could not do the work that we're doing without your support. So, really, once again, thank you, thank you. While we have you, please go ahead and reserve the last Friday of next month for our next Max Minutes. We'll have additional information available for you on the run a show for that event, but that's going to be March 27th. So we will give you all a little bit of time back, but thank you again for joining us, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.